Now to the big story on Capitol Hill tonight. Lawmakers still out of office as the Department of Homeland Security works through the longest partial government shutdown in history.
Yet the shutdown has now stretched into its 46th day. One of the most visible impacts has been in airport terminals nationwide and even here in our own backyard. BWI Marshall was hit especially hard over the weekend. Look at this. Roughly 40% of TSA officers called out. Tonight, News 4's Joseph Olmo spoke with a woman who worked for the TSA for 14 years to get her take on what's happening.
It takes a lot for airport officials to come out and publicly say that those were the worst TSA lines they had ever experienced there. What happened at BWI?
A combination of things. One, of course, people who are not getting paid, who are calling in sick, or some people resigned. Keep in mind that these are individuals who have not been paid for 2 months. Yet what happens? The car payment is still due, the rent is still due, the electric bill is still due. You still have childcare. Of course, the price of gasoline is even higher. That was one big thing. But also spring break. So you had a lot more people who wanted to fly because it's spring break and they wanted to get away. And that was, those two things combined probably resulted in the biggest impact.
Here's something that struck me. Saturday was probably the worst day for TSA lines at BWI since this whole thing started. ICE shows up in the afternoon, and by the next day, Sunday, the lines are seemingly back to normal. What do you think happened there? Did ICE make an impact, or do you think that things got better on Sunday because TSA officers knew they would finally be getting paid on Monday?
I think indeed that they were told that they were going to get paid on Monday. So a lot of them decided it was a good time to make sure that they were there at work.
You were with the agency for 14 years. I can guarantee you this. You've never seen a shutdown as long as this because Sunday marked a record-breaking day. What do you make of this whole situation?
I think it's very unfortunate. What's happening is it's almost as though TSA is being blamed, and officers and everybody who's not even an officer have a great deal of pride in what they do, and they want to make sure that the passengers, especially those at their airports, have a good experience. And I think it's unfortunate that it's almost being, the whole situation is really falling onto their backs, and they're the ones who are suffering.
So yes, TSA officers finally got some back pay this week, but their future paychecks are still in limbo because Republicans and Democrats still haven't come to an agreement on how to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Making matters worse, Congress is currently in the middle of a 2-week recess right now. Get this. President Trump has said that if lawmakers get back to Washington, D.C. and finally fix this issue, he will host a Easter dinner at the White House. That's where things stand. I'm Joseph Olmo.